Gents, welcome to the stage and thank you for taking the time to come and present to us today. Look, I don't know who can answer this one, but can either Nick or Tony, I'll introduce, you've got Nick, Peter and Tony. Can you give us a little bit of a background to the area and what is your financial, your family connection to the area?
I will. So we've been in Paddington all our lives since our parents came there in 1959, and our father is a builder and was a builder. Sorry, he's no longer around. And he built a building across the road from the Paddington Hotel. It was a picture theatre. He bought that property and he demolished it and built a 2-level building there, a commercial building, and which became a nightclub and about 15 shops there, and a car park as well. We ran it, Nick and I, and then we slowly went back up the road where that building is there. We bought one property there. Then in 2002 we bought the other property there. We bought several houses at the back, and we slowly bought an acre of land, just a bit short of an acre of land there. And we slowly started thinking about developing this property, and then we slowly got a great team together of architects, town planners, Peter, who we went to school with Peter actually. Yeah, and we got really good teams around us to thinking of what we're going to do there. And it's really hard to get approvals in Paddington, extremely hard. It took us about 2.5 years to get that approval for the childcare centre and car park. Car park is really rare in Paddington. Very hard to get car parks. So we plan to get a provider there. So we searched to get a provider, which is a kids club. They took a 20-year lease, and then we got an operator for the car park, which took a 5-year lease by 5. And then we got all the approvals put in place, and then we're going for construction, which took about 2 years to get the approvals, and now we're in stages where we're building. So that's a little bit of a brief history about Paddington and our family. So Nick, would you like to add a bit more?
Sort of.
Sorry?
Sort of. Well, Paddington is an old suburb of Brisbane. When we were growing up in Paddington, it was highly Indigenous, Irish Catholic, a huge multicultural ethnic base, and working class. And it sort of transitioned, and it moved through the 70s and 80s. It came a little bit more boutique-y with, and Gibbon Terrace sort of developed as a bit of a high street. When we acquired this property that we're developing now, our focus was pretty much food and fashion there. And we thought, we'd give Paddington a bit of a lift, and we got a few people involved in terms of food operators and fashion operators, and tried to give it a high street feel. Now, with the back of the development where the childcare centre is.
Just to disrupt too, just so everybody can see, is that what the chaps have acquired is from this building here, all along Gibbon Terrace, and they own all the way up to here. So they own, at least 200 or 300 square metres, 3 metres of frontage here. So this is all income producing. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
This is all,
There's a house at the back there.
income producing property. They also own this house here. It's a residential style of home that actually has commercial premises in the back. And then what they're developing is this block of land at the back. And it has significantly, this is a very old photo because this is all now gone and they're now coming underground. So these are all restaurants, cafes, and clothing boutiques. Is that fair?
That's correct.
And the best thing we've done, we've made sure that the tenants at the front aren't disturbed while we're building at the back, so they're still paying rent.
All right, I'll go. That's good. I've got two microphones. I like to talk. Okay, look, what I want to talk about too, you know, and Nick was saying about, you know, fashion and food. Few things that, one of the things we liked about it first is it's Rolls-Royce property security. But can you just talk to us about what you're trying to provide for the community? Can you tie into what's happening with Suncorp Stadium and the Olympics?
Okay, so we have a vision, a long-term vision here for the next 5 to 10 years in terms of this property. The first stage is the childcare centre and the car park. So we're trying to appeal to all three types of government, local government, state government and federal government. In terms of for the federal government, it's the childcare centre. It's I don't know if you probably can see it out there in the papers. Childcare is a really big issue and topic for the federal government. So we've gone down that path with the childcare centre, and we think it's something that the community needs. In terms of the car park, that's the local government that we're trying to appease there, because Paddington is really tight for car parking. And we thought, you know, a car park along with this would suit really well. Our next vision is a residential stage that we're looking at doing, high-end apartments, and we want to provide more residential and sort of blend it into the going of the street with the restaurants, the cafes, to give people a lifestyle in terms of living in this vicinity. And then we want to keep on going with this, and we have a third stage that we'd like to do in terms of a short-term accommodation as we go towards the Olympics, where Suncorp Stadium is only down the road, where events are going to be held. We feel that we'll be providing accommodation for these events that will happen in 2032. So we seem to think we're ticking the boxes for all three forms of government here, and giving the project a vision, and trying to build a precinct for Paddington. It seems to be left behind in the last 10 or 20 years, and we want to bring it into the 21st century. And we believe that we can do this with this vision that we have here.
Pete, I'll hand over to you. Mate, can you just talk about the short-term accommodation? So what options are available at the moment? Why would you be building a boutique hotel at the moment?
Look, the area itself is very difficult to get approvals for. So any accommodation that we can provide or put in there is well received. And an example, am I right in saying, Tony, that Gambaras has been taken over by the NRL?
That's correct.
So the only competing hotel of that nature in this location has already been bought by the NRL because of its proximity to Suncorp Stadium. So there is still a huge demand for short-term accommodation, and I think you can help me out again. How many traffic lights between there and the airport? Two. So it works as a destination that's not right in the middle of town, but you are obviously focused around the event of stadiums. And basically Suncorp Stadium is increasing its output in terms of concerts, the Dolphins, there's different sporting teams. So more and more the stadium is being used, and that area of Gibbon Terrace is very, very popular with the public, both before and after the games. So we think it'll be well received.
You just talk about that, Pete, too. Because you're already really catering for that, aren't you? Like, so the Reds are playing at Suncorp Stadium, so people can come to Given Terrace, grab a meal at one of the lovely restaurants, toggle down the hill, or park the car. They'll be able to park the car soon. Yeah,
If you're early.
Yeah. Grab something to eat in the restaurant.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle thing, and it does work for both day, night games, all of that sort of thing. And that has been going on for quite a while. The residential side of it is also going to be really interesting because, again, with the Paddington approval process, there are very little to no new apartments. Certainly none with the location and the city views that these would possess. And then also, basically, it's a revamp of the whole retail precinct. And one of the big problems, if anyone has ever been to Paddington, is finding a car park. It is really difficult. And so this will benefit all of those shops, and it will be a destination point because people will drop little Johnny off and then they'll go and have a coffee with a few of their friends. So we think all of the shops will benefit from these community-based assets, and that will continue to go as we get through the process of getting these approvals and hopefully funding the construction.
Yes, just talk about that too. So where we are at the moment is this is an artist's impression of what the frontage will look like in stages 2 and 3. But so at the moment, you know, we've got the childcare coming out of the ground, coming around quite quickly. I was there yesterday, and I was staggered at how much has progressed there. Commercial car park. Can you tell us a little bit about you know, stages 2 and 3, for want of a better word? How are the plans progressing, etc.?
So we've just had meetings last week with council. They are really impressed with what we plan to do. We're going to have a pre-lodgement meeting in 2 to 3 weeks' time with them, and they said we need to lodge this as soon as possible. The other thing I need to tell you about this site's the only site in Paddington where you can do this. There's no other site in Paddington that can be done. They can do 12 apartments and a hotel and a childcare and car park. So the chances of this happening anywhere else in Paddington is extremely rare, because we're the only family that has land to do this. So
yeah, I mean, I agree, and that's, you know, I come back to my comments in the presentation earlier, is that, you know, if you want to invest into this particular mortgage, for want of a better word, you know, would you be happy to own this real estate? Absolutely, you know.
Totally agree with you, John.
You don't get to own it, Joe.
That's right. Look, that was all we really wanted to cover, guys. I mean, anything else that, you know, anyone else want to ask any questions? Or, yeah, I'll come down the back here, hang on.
All right. Congratulations, gentlemen. Your heirs, your fathers, mothers before you, wise people.
Thank you
How
very
many
much.
car park spaces?
Thank you. Appreciate that.
How many car park spaces?
60.
60.
Is there any heritage problems at all with the development?
So far, so good.
No, it's all character listed. We haven't listed it as a heritage building, and we don't want to go down that path.
And council hasn't, or?
No, not at all.
Okay, that's good, well done.
Oh, well, that's good timing. No, thanks, Jed. So we really appreciate you coming in. I thank you all too for coming today. I hope you found it informative. Timing's pretty good because I think they're just handing out dessert. So, you know, we're going to hang around for a cup of coffee and maybe a light beer if you want to have a chat. Hang on a second. Oh, it's actually 10 and a quarter. So originally it was 10, yeah, and then now that we're issuing what's called construction units, so it's 10 and a quarter %.
And we'd like to thank you for having us here today. Thanks very much.
Our pleasure. We really appreciate it. Take care.